Let me give you a brief, just my background is brief, and what is interesting is there's a large number of people from Huntsville. How many came to BC or so? But I have a connection with that. I worked for 15 years at Argonne National Lab, and I was the director of energy supply utilization, and we had a solar heating and cooling program. Some of you may remember that NASA Marshall was a major subcontractor. Well, that was one of the programs I managed, so I used to visit NASA. And for those of you who are on TBA, I did some consulting for TBA in fracture mechanics for a while. My own background is a PhD and Master's in Structural Engineering and Mechanics from the University of Washington. I worked at Boeing, and there I was responsible, my PhD dissertation was in fracture and failure analysis. So I actually developed the fail-safe manuals for Boeing and went on to manage and develop a training program for quality improvement at Boeing. I talked about it in one of the lectures I gave last year. It's about the only time I mentioned it, because that was a long time ago. So from Boeing I went to Argonne National Lab in the nuclear program, and then in the alternative energy programs for 15 years. After that I started a disk drive manufacturing company, which I sold to a multinational corporation in Singapore. And during that time I was consulting for venture capitalists. So that was a very wide range of activities. And then after that project, I decided it's time to retire, so I came to UTC. I was about 40 years old at the time, didn't you, 20 years? I came to the Center of Excellence with the professor and the senior fellow. And one of my agreements with the chancellor then or there was that I would continue to do entrepreneurship, my consulting, and set up a software company, which we did. So we have a multinational software company with clients in Europe, Spain, England particularly, and all over the country. The URL there is voicecare.com. So I just want to give you a little background here to know that I'm coming from some very hardcore business and management and research experience, and I continue to stay involved. Today what we're going to do, I promised you that I'll give you a concept that's different from what you have seen, so obviously I have to live up to the concept. But I think there's something that each of you can go back with, and something that only a few can go back with. What each of you can go back with is the discussion and some exchange of ideas. But what some of you can go back with is a couple of books and some papers that I'm going to raffle out to you, provided you do some work. And the work is, you have the Brookmaster, could you pass that please? This is a self-evaluation tool. It will evaluate your leadership potential or capabilities or propensities. We cannot go online here. It's an online game. It's called Brookmaster. And we have made copies of it. I would like you to enter these questions. It will take you 15 minutes, 50 little multiple choices. So you don't have time. You need to go quickly. We don't want you to sweat on it. We want you to give your pure thought. Your first
doesn't really want to do it.
And here's the payoff. The payoff is that we will give out. I was planning to give out 2 books. George, could you show the books, please?
Yes.
But
we're short on them.
But we want to improve the odds. So instead of 2 books, we're going to make it 4 books. Because there are more of you. See how you have to respond to reality. And then there are four copies of transcripts of the quality lecture that we will give out today. And then we have a field manual, extensive leadership training field manual that we will give out 2 of those. The way we give them out is based on your email. After you turn in your questionnaire, at the end of the session, George will pull those names and you will get your reward. So that's for the few who made out. There's about 10 or 12 rewards. I thought it'd be 15 people, so I was going, but looks like we are behind. I tell you what, we will make it, instead of 4 books, we'll make it 6 books. So there you go. Does everybody have one?
No, we're sure.
Okay, here's what you do. Yes, here's what you do. Let's be innovative. See, that's what makes America great. Share with the person, put your name on the edge, and just X, one person circle on the left, the other circle on the right. This is called teamwork. Now you see, I promised you that you will get something different. Now, one other promise. I will not. Second promise is, so you've got the promise that somebody's going to go away with something, and everybody's going to go away with something. And you tell me at the end of the seminar whether that has been fulfilled. The third promise is that I am not, and I repeat, not going to teach you anything about leadership. In other words, I'm not going to take 150 slides, which you could fit into 2 hours, and pump it to you from different sources. We will not do that. So we'll just have a few slides and we will discuss. Ask any question you want at any point. There is no question that is an uncomfortable, embarrassing question either for me, and it shouldn't be for you. So that's the challenge. That's the other one. Talk about anything, we'll make it informal. I have a structure to take you through what I want to take you through. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to tell you only 4 things about leadership. About purposeful action. And leadership is only one special form of action. Because leadership is nothing but managing change. A simple definition of leadership is leaders are dreamers, doers, and great storytellers. Now, if you think of all the leaders, you'll find that. It's the idea of communicating. Moreover, a purposeful leader is what we talk about. You may have heard of and read about Greenfield, I think a remarkable person. He used to be head of HR at AT&T, and some of you should read the concept of servant leader. So a purposeful leader is a servant leader, which means the purpose of the leader is to serve the constituents, to provide service. So we define a purposeful leader as one who enhances the rightful purpose of others. Remember, not the wrongful purpose. So ethics comes in. So if I can enhance your purpose, then I have served as a leader. They call this a session leader. Well, my job is to serve you. So how do you start with that? You start with vision. We talked about vision. Dreamers. Doers, you've got to act. You know, some say leaders by example, you've heard of. So all those cliches will start ringing in your mind, and I'm not going to use cliches. I'm going to go back to, what did I say, 4? Now through those 4, we'll break it down to other details. So there will be about 32 little concepts you will get. But just remember the 4. Fair enough?